Thanks for watching Film Buff, really, honestly. It's fucking great.
How's it going, guys? My name is Film Buff. Alright, man, so I apologize to anyone who checks out my Legion stuff. I actually recorded this a long time ago, man. It's been like a month, over a month. You know, my schedule changed dramatically all of a sudden, you know, and now I can only do YouTube stuff on Saturdays and Sundays. You know, and of course there's other stuff that has to happen on those days. So unfortunately my YouTube stuff really slowed down, man, and because of that I'm like behind on so many things. You know, and this is the show I've enjoyed so much. Absolutely love this show. You know, so I really apologize for, you know, leaving this in limbo after episode 7 for like a month, man. You know, of course that's not my intention. I don't want to do that. Of course I don't want to do that, but just somehow I couldn't get a chance to, you know, get to it. So there's actually 3 different timelines in this. So this right now, I'm basically recording a new intro for this. Then the reaction itself is from like a month ago, over a month ago. And the discussion was like 8-9 days after I did the reaction. So you'll be able to tell from the beard growth, you know, in my intro, in my reaction itself, and then in the post-episode discussion, you'll see different lengths of beards. Also, for some reason, the end of the discussion is kind of corrupt. The file was corrupt, so it kind of cut off. I'm gonna do a full series like review. I'm gonna, you know, it's not done. I'm gonna do more on it. So unfortunately, at the end it kind of got cut off. The file was corrupt or something. But there's gonna be more Legion stuff on my channel. You know, I'm gonna check it out again. You know, all 8 episodes off camera this time. So basically, you know, it's gonna cut off at the end. Again, it's corrupt. So basically, I was about to talk about the post-credit scene. You know, a few things I noticed. They showed the lady in red, the red dress. They showed her. You know, as David and Sid are standing there, you see her in the hall in the background. It's really creepy, actually. You see the lady in the red dress, and you know that happened. They showed her once. It was him and Patanomy having a conversation, and then, you know, David kind of looks back and he sees this lady in a red dress. You know, one of the mysteries of season 1 that hasn't been solved, man. It's just kind of there. So, you know, maybe season 2. And one more thing that I talked about that kind of got cut off. It looked like there was a man hanging, like just hanging there on like a coat rack. And you know who he looked like? It looked like Carrie. Someone that looked like Carrie, or the body of Carrie, was hanging off a coat rack. I don't know if I was seeing things, but that's what it kind of looked like to me. So a few strange things, man. But you know, that's the stuff that kind of got cut off. So yeah, so here's my reaction, and then you're gonna see my discussion. Once again, I apologize. It was not my intention to delay this much, but enjoy. Oh god damn, this is giving me goosebumps.
Yeah, you can kill the others.
No.
The scream.
Put it away. You're right. We need to talk.
I love it. He's so calm. In control.
I was in Clockworks for 6 years. Drugged, doing nothing, contributing nothing, and now, finally, I can be useful. I can help. Don't you get it? I am so sick of myself. This only works if it's not about me.
David. On the table.
That's amazing makeup.
You were right about David. He's a world breaker. And if you'd killed him before he figured that out, then maybe your tactical forces and, what is it, world coalition, maybe that would have impressed me. But not now. Oh, kid. You better learn to fly like a bird because the age of the dinosaur is over.
Ooh.
Simulation.
What is the point?
I don't have it. So they show.
What's your moves? Not schizophrenic.
David? Hey, sexy. You can't be here.
Why not? Because David put a hat on? And I may not be on his frequency right now, but you can hear me just fine, can't you?
Stop.
Oh.
I'm part of him. And the only way you're gonna get me out without killing him is if I decide to leave on my own. There it is. Now you see.
Don't be afraid to care.
It's getting erased. Slowly. Oh, I've seen that shot before as well. The yellow's gone from his shirt.
What am I without you? We've been together for so long.
It's true. All his life.
Sun and moon.
Stay here.
He saw it too. Everyone saw that.
You see that, right?
She has to touch him. She has to make contact. Oh no. Carrie, back up. Oh, it's gonna move from person to person. No. That's cool. Gorgeous shot.
I don't understand. It needs a host. The Shadow King, so if it's not in one of us...
It's Oliver.
Where's Oliver?
Sucks.
Where should we look first?
Someplace warm.
New symbol on the shirt.
South. They're headed south.
The hell was that?
What is that? Is that one of Carrie's?
No, it's not.
I think it likes you.
Oh, what the fuck?
No!
He just broke free, man. Alright, man. That show deserves a round of applause, man. Amazing. Fantastic show. One of the best I've seen ever. You know, I know some people might think I'm overdoing it, calling it one of the best ever. But for me, it is. For me, it is, guys. And I know there's a bunch of other people that, you know, that put this show into their top 2, top 3. You know, it's a show that is not for everyone. That's for sure. You know, and I don't say this to be rude or mean or anything. Sometimes people don't like shows that make you think a lot. You know, I'm not calling anyone dumb. I'm just saying that sometimes people don't prefer shows that are really intricate, that really make you think and really demand your attention. I know sometimes people enjoy shows that, you know, you can just kind of sit back and kind of like look at the screen and see what's happening, and it's really straightforward. But this is, you know, this show, man, it has been one of the most unique and refreshing shows I've seen in a long time, man. It's in my top 5, you know. I said it's in my top 5, you know, alongside shows like Game of Thrones, The Sopranos, Vikings is in there. And, you know, this is a show I'm going to be checking out over and over until season 2's out. You know, it's just fantastic to see a show like this can exist. Some of the absolute best visual storytelling you're ever going to see in any show. The acting has been fantastic. You know, the two standouts being Aubrey Plaza and Dan Stevens. The music was incredible. I honestly think everything about this was perfect, man. I legitimately give this show a perfect 10 out of 10, man. It was just so perfect for me. I love this kind of stuff. You know, I got so into it, man. I got so into it. Love it, love it. Okay, now let's actually talk about what happened in this episode. Just as you know, David is finally free of this parasite, finally free and out in the open, fully in control. But once again, he is taken away, man. Now, who could this be? You know, maybe it's a sign of the enemies to come in season 2. You know, the Shadow King is still around, so, you know, I feel like he's gonna have multiple enemies to, you know, take care of in the next season. You know, they did name drop the Equinox. Maybe this is that backup group that was supposed to come in. But yeah, you know, the ending set it up nicely for season 2. Unfortunately, the Shadow King attached himself to Oliver. Or did Oliver take it on, you know, by choice, you know, to take it away from this group? I think it's possible that Oliver might have taken the parasite on, you know, by choice. Let's go to the beginning of the episode. Really good opening sequence, man. Clark, you know, they set him up as someone who's opposing David. You know, this opening sequence really shows you, man, that even these people that are meant to be opposing, you know, characters that we like, they have families, man. They have a life. And I thought that sequence, the opening sequence, the 5-6 minute opening sequence was powerful, man. Really powerful. And it was also sad, to be honest. I did feel bad for him. I felt bad for Clark. You know, he was full of self-pity. He was, you know, he was in a depression and then rage. There's a few parallels in there, you know. He's definitely looking like Two-Face from Batman. You know, and he asked for the mirror. It reminded me of Two-Face, you know, looking at his face for the first time. The music was really good, and the opening shot was kind of cool because it's zooming out, but like, you know, the little symbols and little colors it's showing, those are really similar to the outro or the credits. Clark is you know, he's just telling his crew to kill everyone else. You know, I really like this David, and this was definitely David, you know, because he had the halo on, and the yellow-eyed demon, the Shadow King, was not in control at all. But I loved how calm and collected David was. He handled the situation, man. Just he said no. He kind of puts all of these soldiers into, like, you know, in the corner, and he tells Clark, you know, let's talk. He was so calm, and that was David. That was definitely David, because, you know, a few episodes ago, same thing happened. You know, I remember David being really calm, really, like, he had this new swagger about him, but that wasn't David. That was actually the Shadow King who took over, because David kind of allowed, you know, him to take over. But this time is actually David in control. But David was adamant that, you know, this is only going to work if it's not about him. He doesn't want to make it about himself anymore. It turns out the halo was actually losing its effect. And, you know, Carrie is telling him it has to be done soon because he's going to take over and erase you altogether. So, and, you know, it's a really creepy moment because as Carrie's telling him about the halo losing its effect, you know, you can start to hear Lenny, hey kid. You know, a really eerie moment. You know, and later on, there's this awesome shot of him just floating in the air, and, you know, I noticed that the halo was emitting red light. You know, perhaps that was to show us that, okay, it's getting closer and closer. You know, it's losing its effect. You know, the Shadow King might take control again soon. There was a really strange moment. You know, Clark's in this holding room. You know, and Carrie comes in. He's got a glass of water. Something really strange happened here, guys. I don't know what. I'm not sure what this is implying, but as Carrie's trying to hand it over, the yellow-eyed demon, the Shadow King's theme starts to play. You know, that really creepy, eerie music. That kind of threw me off, man. You know, how come they're playing the yellow-eyed demon, the Shadow King's theme? You know, that theme that's been so present throughout the 8 episodes. How come they're playing that theme as Carrie is trying to hand something over to Clark? And female Carrie, you know, right as they're about to touch, she tells him on the table. So yeah, I'm trying to think theories, like, what could that be, man? The scene itself is kind of structured in a manner that, you know, it's like, oh, look at this, they're about to touch, something's gonna happen if they touch. Yeah, so I'm not really sure, guys. Maybe I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. The only thing I can think of is that it's being implied here that Carrie might have something to do with the Shadow King, Farouk, because he knows about him as well. You remember that scene in episode 7 or 6? It was in the ice cube, and, you know, Carrie and Oliver are talking about Farouk. You know, once again, I got to see David in his super calm and collected demeanor. He's at the table, and he's telling Clark that he doesn't have to be afraid. And, you know, Clark's getting annoyed because David keeps repeating this. And then he does bring up a good point, man. He's like, well, your babies and my babies, you know, who comes out on top in that sandbox squabble. So I see the point he's making here. And finally, I got my answer to a long-running thing that's been going on here. You know, throughout the last few episodes, 3-4 episodes, Sid has been experiencing things that David should be experiencing or has been experiencing. You know, Sid has been seeing the angry boy. Sid's seen the yellow-eyed demon. Sid has seen King, Lenny, the Shadow King, the yellow-eyed demon, attached itself to Sid as well, because, you know, episode 1, Sid and David kissed. You know, as she was in David's body, he was able to, the Shadow King was able to, you know, infect her mind as well, you know, kind of settle in. You know, in the next episode after that, or a few episodes after that, you know, she's on the swing and she's telling David that she saw something else in there. So basically there's a connection, you know, David, Sid, and the Shadow King. You know, at this point Lenny, who seems to be falling apart, really, you know, in really bad shape, just kind of like rotting, you know, but Lenny made it known that the only way I'm gonna leave is if I choose to leave. You know, he's trying to manipulate Sid into listening, you know, and it was manipulating Sid into helping it out. And you know, later on it was clear that it's like, no, I'm not gonna leave. You know, so next up was the process, you know, the procedure to remove the yellow-eyed demon. Carrie and Oliver did their thing, you know, and as this is going on, you know, we kind of get to see David's life flash before his eyes, right? He gets to go through all of the times, all of the bad times. He kind of gets to relive, or not relive, but like kind of go through all of the bad times, right? Under the influence of the Shadow King. And basically, you know, he brought up a good point. You know, all his life he had this thing attached to him, and he was questioning, you know, what happens once the Shadow King is removed. And you know, and the scenes they were showing us were scenes from the show itself. You know, I've seen them before. You know, it was all the problem moments, right? It was all the moments the yellow-eyed demon was present in, and you can see slowly the yellow-eyed demon is kind of fading from those moments. But yeah, man, once again, those scenes, the colors, and the music being used in the whole process, you know, of him getting clear of the yellow-eyed demon, fantastic, right? You know, but it decides to fight back, and it's not gonna let go. It straight up tells David, you know, I'm not leaving. Sid decides that, okay, no, screw this, because David's in pain, right? You know, and she knows that David's gonna die if she doesn't do something, and she decides to touch him again. You know, she decides to kiss him, and this kind of, you know, starts up like the cycle of the Shadow King jumping from body to body. There was that really creepy shot of Sid, you know, as she stands up, yellow eyes, you know, and then it decides to move to Carrie, and that kind of set up this really cool, you know, finale type battle. The Shadow King, and then, you know, down comes David. You know, awesome, you know, fantastic shot of him coming down, and you see the X in the background, the fan, you know, spinning around. But yeah, you know, that's such a cool moment. You know, David just kind of comes down again, super confident, and you know, they take each other on. You know, as they clash, the shadow-eyed demon ends up being ejected from Carrie's body, and you know, it has to take the next body that it sees, right? It can only survive, according to Carrie, it can only survive if it has like a host body. And unfortunately, the next body he looks at is Oliver, who's opening the door. But it is possible that Oliver decided to take this demon on by choice. You know, there's a really cool moment, you know, again, lighting, man. It's, you know, amazing use of lighting. You see it's all red in there, and then slowly, you know, you can see it through the cracks of the door. You can slowly see it turn to blue. And then Oliver walks out, and he walks right out into the car. Also, you know, I noticed that there's a different look to Lenny now, you know, more in line with Oliver. So it was really cool to see that. You know, I'm super happy that Aubrey Plaza is going to be part of the next season. You know, the Shadow King is still around. So you know what's going to be really cool? The dynamic. Aubrey Plaza and the actor who plays Oliver. You know, it's crazy, I've never heard of this actor, but you know, I'm such a fan of this guy now. I love him. You know, the dynamic next season, Aubrey Plaza and the actor who plays Oliver. You know, I can't, oh my god, it's gonna be so good. And you know, the shitty part about that is that, you know, right before it happened, man, Oliver finally remembered his wife. You know, bittersweet moment, because, you know, he finally came to it, and, you know, Melanie's been dreaming of this, you know, of her husband finally remembering who I am, but he gets taken away, man. Super excited for season 2. I'm really looking forward to it. You know, I want to see how they push it further. You know, I'm excited to see how they change it up, because they're gonna change it up. This was so unique and so refreshing. I'm sure season 2 is going to be even more refreshing, or it's going to have a different take and a different look because of the setting, right? They're going to be going to a different setting. So, you know, I'm really looking forward to it. Let's talk about the post-credit scene, guys, and a few of the loose ends of this season. Let's go back to the stars. Remember, that was like an ongoing thing. What did the stars say? That's possible they might have answered that, but not directly.